Hey, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Ultimate Affiliate Marketing. I'm your host, as always. It's Paul Motley here, and today we have a very special guest. This guy is the guy to go to as far as learning how to make more money, spend less money, and do crazy things on Facebook ads. And it is incredible inspiration to a lot of people. It's Wilco De Kreij. Wilco, how's it going, man?
Doing good, man. Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Now, there's some people out there which have sort of consumed your content, seen your content, and if they're in our sort of like world, most likely they've been hit with an ad at some point. But for those people that don't know, give us your best elevator pitch.
Ha, my best elevator pitch. Well, like in 3 words, I would say I'm just a marketing nerd. Longest story is like over the last 10, 15 years, I've done like if there's any traffic source available or like I've done it, I've tried it out. But the last couple of years, mostly with paid ads, driving tons of traffic, getting it to convert. Like I could go as much as deep as I want to, but like marketing nerd, I love everything about growing businesses and using marketing to do so. Yeah.
Cool. So you're a numbers guy, right? That's your thing.
Yeah, I'm I'm a data-driven guy, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And there's one thing that I take from a lot of content that I consume of yours as well is that I can really see the passion in it. You know, you're not here just to say, oh, buy my stuff. This is your thing. This is what you're really, really keen on doing, getting people results, right?
Yeah, like I just love everything about it. Like I think you're obviously very much in the affiliate scene. I actually started out as an affiliate marketer, and it was in that period that I learned like the marketing side of things. That's what really drives me. And also be as an affiliate marketer, you know, like it's in the end it is a numbers game. It's like money in versus money out. Like you need to have a difference there, especially if you're using paid ads. And that's also where that started me. Like I just need to focus on the numbers to make sure that works, because we can all be like, oh yeah, it's cool and nice, but if it doesn't actually convert, like there's no real point to it, right? Like
Yeah, that's it. And this comes the world over as well, because sometimes you'll see people that build like bridge pages which just look ugly as hell, but they just convert, you know, and it's crazy. You just think, why
I
do I
hate to
spend three
admit it,
days?
but ugly sells. It annoys me because I actually do like if it looks pretty, but whenever we split test, usually the ugliest page wins, which is
I know. So it sometimes sucks when, I mean, I could spend like 3 days building this amazing squeeze page and get like a 20 to 25% opt-in rate. And then I see someone else that looks like they threw a page up back from the 90s and it's getting like 80% opt-in, and it just kills me.
it's weird, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess, I mean, that's got to be most part to do with the traffic that's coming in, right? You know, that's a big part of it, which is what your thing is, right? That's what you help people with.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, before we even dive in, I actually want to share one quick cool tip. You mentioned opt-in page, right? For a long time, I always had like this short opt-in page, what everyone used. Like you want to have a short headline, maybe sub-headline, call to action, you know the drill. At some point, start testing the long form opt-in page. Top, still the exact same. Title, subtitle, like the exact same as what you currently have. But then some people just keep scrolling, right? And that's essentially a full sales page still just to convince people to actually opt in. And what we saw, like when we started doing that, first of all, opt-in conversion rates went up, but all conversions later on in the funnel went up as well, because people were more committed before they even opted in, because some people, they just scrolled down and read all that text and got the social proof, got the story behind it. And by the time they opted in, they were like, give me the goods, right? So this is a quick tip for if you have an opt-in page, maybe turn it into a very long
Oh, we
page.
like this. We like this. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. And regular listeners will know that I do tend to share a little bit too much sometimes, and you know, go into stuff which you only get on paid programs, but I just let everybody have it. You know, it's crazy. But that's really awesome, man. I totally appreciate that, because when I've been doing it myself previously, you kind of think, okay, right, we'll lower the barriers to entry. So instead of asking for someone for the first names, the second name, their email address, their phone number, their you know, the post address and the security number, you know, all these crazy forms, you know, just keep it nice and sweet, nice and short. But what you're saying there about is actually building out, you know, so it works for the people which just want to get in right at the top, you know, they can just go bang, yeah, I'm in. But then you're actually dealing with multiple psychologies there, I think, to, you know, which we are talking about emotional buyers and logical buyers and all that sort of thing. So you're actually dealing with everything on the front page, which is genius, man.
Yeah, man, works well. So just wanted to have that out there, have some value in the front, in the start of this episode, this conversation. So yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So what point did you get to where you thought, okay, right, I'm doing all this stuff on my own. Now I want to be able to help other people. Did you start out with just like being an agency, or was it straight into the software side of things?
No, actually, before I even got started, like way back in the game, I first did everything for myself. So actually, like long story short, initially I like you know the movie The Matrix, right? Everyone has their own pair of sunglasses, and I was like a 16-year-old guy. I wanted to have one of those here in the Netherlands. They were nowhere to be found. So I'm like, all right, I'll just look online and find a business who sells them. It was back over in the US, which for me is the other side of the world. They actually did sell them, but like shipping costs was like super expensive. And this was at a time where like literally my parents believed if you buy something online, you will get a virus on your PC. Like that is what they like. This is like 17, 18 years ago, right? So I figured, you know what, I'll just put up some sort of an ad online in like an eBay website, but here in the Netherlands, like it's sort of similar as eBay. And I told people like, hey, you can, if you send me your money, I'll buy a bunch of sunglasses. Like you basically order your sunglasses with me first, send me the money. Then I'm going to put the order out in the US. It will take like 2 months before you get it back because I had to wait for the sunglasses to arrive at my place. And I expected to sell like, I don't know, 20, 30 sunglasses, maybe like to sort of like cover the shipment cost. And turned out the glasses were like €3-4 each, like cheap glasses, sold for $18,000 worth of sunglasses. And my parents were like freaking out because like the living room, like everywhere was sunglasses. And like I had friends from high school, like helping me package, putting them all together and all that stuff. And I realized like, I loved the marketing about it, but I didn't like all the, you know,
yeah.
Like, I ordered the blue one, not the red one. So long story short, I started doing like e-commerce without knowing anything about that there was even a thing like e-commerce, but that's what I did for the first couple of years. Then I sort of switched to affiliate marketing, and like all this time marketing, like not for others, but just as, you know, as a solopreneur, as you would call it. And a couple of years later, I needed some tools to be created for myself. Like this was also for Facebook, and that didn't exist yet. So I went to Upwork or Elance or whatever it was called back then, hired someone to build it for me. And at that point, like not everyone maybe, but a lot of people have experienced this. My business went back to zero because I was 100% relying on Google AdWords, and they changed their algorithm, banned my account, everything was gone. And I just built this little WordPress plugin back in the day. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can get other people to actually, you know, maybe other people want to have this as well. And that's sort of how I started rolling. First, giving it away for free, then eventually started selling it, and then. So it's more like it's sort of like everything all happened naturally instead of like me having the thought of. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna sell to other people. It's more like I build everything for myself. I figure out what works for us, and then I'm like, hey, you know, maybe it helps others as well. And that's sort of like.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I just got to pick up on one point right now, and don't hate me for this, but you know, with the whole sunglasses thing, this is the first time I've heard this. You could have been Amazon, right?
I was 16 years old. Like one thing was really funny as well is that when you're 16, like, and you're doing the math, and you're like, wow, like so all of a sudden I sold a lot of sunglasses, and I thought like, wow, I'm going to be rich, right? Like there's all this money in between. And then I realized, holy crap, like there was taxes and there was all kind of other stuff. So actually I lost money on all that because I didn't think about any taxes, but obviously it was the best lesson I could have ever learned. So the year after that, I increased the prices because I did it every summer during high school. And that's where I made my profit. But yeah, no, I didn't have the state of mind to be Amazon or anything like that at that point. That's
cool. Did you start seeing people wandering around with your sunglasses? You'd sold them as well. Did that happen?
Yeah, actually we did. Like, because obviously the Netherlands is a small country, relatively speaking. And I think at my parents' place in their garage, there's still like a box of like 1,000 sunglasses leftovers. And every time I get there, my dad, he always wears one of them because like, yeah, my old one broke, so I'll just grab a few new ones, right? And it's funny.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. So tell me a little bit about what you've got going on at the moment, because as far as I understand it, you've got kind of like, is it 2 sort of platforms that you're working around? One is called Viral, which does something completely different, and then you've got the Connect Explore as well, and the Connect.io and all that sort of suite. So Try and walk someone through. Let's go for the big one first, because up viral, I think, is probably easier to explain. So I don't want to give it to you too easy today. We'll go for the tough one to start with. So give us a sort of like, again, we'll narrow it down and tell people exactly what they're going to get out using it.
Before I tell you what a viral is, maybe I'll continue that story because that will actually explain what a viral is. So at some point, I created this little WordPress plugin. I'm like, I want to build my email list. Never built an email list before. Didn't have a clue what it was. So I created an opt-in page. Like now we all know what it is. Back then I had no clue. Created a page, like enter your email address here and you will download this plugin, right? And then I was like, all right, but how do I get people to that page, right? It's hard. Like, how do you get people into your, because, you know, Facebook ads wasn't around at that point. Like, how do you do that? So I figured, you know what, I'm going to be smart. First page, to enter the name and email address. Then they go to the second page. And I said like, hey, if you want to get access to this plugin, share it on your Facebook page. Like it was called share this on your Facebook page. And then once you've shared it, you'll be able to download it, right? So now if I got some people to at least and opt in into the email address, my idea was like, hey, now it's going to explode because everyone's going to share it. And I actually did get like hundreds of shares, which for me was like beyond my imagination. Yes, however, there were some issues that I realized because some people, they shared it on a fake account or like they deleted the message right after because they had to share to get. So, but I knew there was something there, right? Like, because like I got like, again, hundreds of shares and thousands of leads, which for me was also groundbreaking, right?
Yeah.
So then I started thinking like, how can I improve this? And I realized that there was a company who had already figured it out, which was Dropbox. What they did is instead of saying like, share this with your friends and you'll get something, what they did is like, everyone got a unique invite links. Like, hey, here's a unique invite link. Share this link with your friends. If your friends actually sign up, like they actually enter the name and email address, then you get something of value, right? So just sharing wasn't enough. You needed to convince your friends. And I remember one of my friends sent me a message like, hey, you need to sign up for Dropbox using this link because it's awesome to back up all your photos, because back then I was into photography. And so like, point being, people don't just share it, but people actively try to get their friends to opt in. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. So then I hacked something to get it to do that, right? Same concept. Opt in first, enter your name and email address. Then the second page, give them an incentive like, hey, if you invite, let's say 3 of your friends using your unique invite link, you will get this amazing thing. You'll get an ebook, video, or whatever it is. And that like completely blew my mind because in the first 30 days, I had over 17,000 leads, which was in the IM space and into the marketing space, right? Proving that I was onto something. And that's when we basically built that concept and made it easy and accessible for everyone, which is UpViral. So using UpViral, you can create these kind of viral lead generation campaigns. And obviously since the time we've improved it drastically, but in a simplified form, that's really what it does. It'll help you to get your audience to promote your business for you by getting their friends, like their friends actually need to sign up as well and enter the name and email address. And that's essentially what viral is. And how we
that's cool, man. I've always been really excited about that. And you know, I'm using myself. I actually like have everything pretty much you've got, right? So, and you know, that's why I'm endorsing it here. But I just thought it's amazing the fact that the people power is really strong. You know, the having someone personally endorse or personally recommend something to somebody else you remove so many barriers. It's literally crazy. So if I've got something here right now and I need like 10 people to opt in as well for me to get something really cool, then I'm going to be on Messenger all day, right? Say, do me a favor, go and get this. Do me a favor, go and get this. Do you know what I mean? And that sort of like literally blows it out of the water. It's almost like how the utopic model for network marketing works, right? So, you know, you're recommending refer a friend type of thing all the time, and everyone achieves more together. It's great. So yeah, I mean, awesome, man. I mean, you guys are obviously getting some crazy results with it as well, right?
Yeah, last week I was talking to a customer and he just went past 100,000 leads, and like those are obviously the awesome case. There's obviously not everyone, like there's a lot of people who get like 10,000 leads, like other numbers as well. But like the amount of success we've been able to see with it. Just last week I actually got an email from Ryan Dice. Do you know Ryan Dice?
Of course. Absolutely, like, hey, got his books.
Yeah, he's using the viral as well, and he was sending me an email that he was loving it and like had some questions, and like it's just awesome to see that. Initially, when you launch it, like let's be honest, when you launch a new program, it's always like it's awesome, but then there's still a lot of things to improve on, right? And now we're at a point where it's not just like some people have success with it, but like it's being used left and right by a lot of people. Even like people like Ryan Dice, Russell Brunson have been using it, and that just proves that we're on the right path, and yeah, we're making an impact. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool, right? Do you ever like pinch yourself sometimes and think this is really, really, really good? You
forget about that sometimes. Like actually, like most mornings, most mornings, I actually write down what I'm grateful for, just to remind myself of like, because it's good to stay grounded and be real with everything.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. Because like I say, you still got to remember where you came from and what everything started it. And you should start getting some t-shirts printed with like sunglasses on or something like that.
Probably should. It's actually a good idea. I like that.
This is where it all started, kids. This is it. Forget about the fact that I forgot about taxes and lost money. Just the sunglasses. You should get a t-shirt. I could have been Amazon, but I chose not to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Talk to me about the actual the software suite that is your main sort of gig. Talk about what that does for people.
Connect.io, yes. So to sort of continue that story, make it easier, right? So I launched them viral, and obviously, like when you launch a product, or when you have a product for sale, you need to have customers, right? It doesn't matter whether you're an affiliate or whether you're selling software, or like you need to find customers. And initially, I actually used affiliate marketing for that. So I had affiliates promoting my business, which I'm still doing, but back then that was like the only traffic source. And I wanted to be in control again. I didn't just want to rely on affiliates. It was like, how do I get my own traffic? So that's when I started running Facebook ads, right? I'm like, right, let's start with Facebook ads. Everyone's talking about it. Let's do it. And actually, like where everyone says it's awesome, initially it's like hard. Like it's not easy, right? And like being the nerd that I am, I quickly realized that there's actually some gaps in between what's possible on Facebook and what's not possible, what I'd like to be possible, right? And being a nerd that I am, again, we hired some people like, hey, there are these gaps. I want to be able to do that because I know it's going to improve my campaigns. And then we build that for ourselves. And later on, that's what essentially became Connect.io. So Connect.io is a suite of different Facebook ads tools that allow you to get a higher ROI beyond what's possible just on Facebook, or save a bunch of time. Some tools are mostly for saving time. I'll give you an example. Are you running ads yourself, by the way?
Absolutely.
Cool. What are sort of your best audiences? Like, is that like lookalike audiences or custom audiences or interest based? What's your like best audience?
It depends on the offer. Realistically, it depends on the offer. I mean, I was talking about this the other day. I'm actually doing a little experiment myself at the moment for another launch which is going on. So I've been using video ads and then basically retargeting the people which have watched X amount of the videos and seeing what that's like. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. But audience wise, it's I do like what most people do. You do the layering, and which means you're targeting X, Y, and Z people, and then also people that also like X, Y, and Z, that sort of thing. And that's kind of what's going on with that at the moment.
Cool. Yeah. So exactly. Like obviously there's many different, like for those who are running ads on Facebook, there's many different things you could use for targeting. One is, like I said, interest-based targeting. So we've got a tool for that will help you find more audiences, and then also to be able to specify specific groups inside those markets instead of having it quite broad. I don't want to go too techy, but essentially it will put your interest-based targeting on steroids. But also, for example, custom audiences, right? Like normally what you would do, let's say you already have some customers, you would then go into your active campaign on MailChimp or whatever system you use, download all your customers, like all the email addresses of a certain group of people, go into Facebook, upload it as a custom audience, and then you can create like what's called a 1% lookalike audience. Like tell Facebook like, hey, I want to find the 1% of people that are similar to my existing group of customers. And first of all, the first problem is like you have to manually download and upload it. But even if you do that, like you're not going to do that on a daily basis, right? Which means that file is going to be outdated. Like even in a week from now, like you missed
straight away.
Exactly. So that's why we built Connect Audience, which literally connects your email autoresponder to your Facebook ads account, like ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, whatever it is. And like on a daily basis, we'll just automatically create your custom audiences for you. We'll keep it updated. Someone new joins your email list, boom, we'll send them over to Facebook into that same custom audience. And that will just stay synchronized. And that way your 1% lookalike audiences will convert better as well, because Facebook has better data to work with.
That makes more sense. Totally. So,
like what you said with retargeting, yes, on Facebook, you can actually retarget people who watched your video, right? But when someone goes to your website, There's no real way to say like, hey, I want to retarget everyone who scrolled to at least like, for example, 50% of my page. Let's say I've got a long sales page. I know if they've actually scrolled all the way down, they're at least somewhat interested, right? So that's why we built a tool called Connect Retarget, which, and this is just one of the things it does. But for example, you can retarget people based on how far they scrolled on your page, like how they behaved on your website, basically. And you can say only those who actually scrolled all the way to the bottom, those people I want to retarget. And that's like the easiest way to increase your ROI on Facebook ads when you're running a retargeting ad. So those are just some examples. Essentially, it's different tools all for Facebook advertisers to help you get a better ROI.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what it is right there. And some of the things there is, again, jolting me because I'm thinking, dang, I forgot to do this and I forgot to do that. And, you know, and I think if you're using something which does it for you, it just makes life so much easier, because I'm all about trying to automate as much as possible, which is why when these podcasts go out, they're syndicated across the internet. I don't have to manually go to every site and fill in the little boxes and tick this and send that. You know, everything's automated, even right down to actually emailing my list. The podcast is available, right? That's all done. I don't have to do anything. The most I'm doing it really hands-on is actually doing the recording of it, and that's it. So having something, I think, it just lowers the barriers for people to get more success. And I think that's super cool, man. And yeah, and anyone that is interested in that should definitely check out the show notes or go and see Wilco's site itself, because it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. This guy has so much passion for it. Now, as we're recording this, right, it is 24th of August, 2020. I have to put a time date on that because I do these every day. Sometimes I forget. And we have something coming up yourself, actually, because you're doing a promotion, right? So just explain about this, because people might be interested.
Yeah. So like if you're running ads, like, or even if you're not yet running ads and you completely should, the lowest hanging fruit on Facebook ads is obviously retargeting ads, right? It's like when someone goes to your website, like most people are actually not going to make a purchase, or even when you're promoting an affiliate offer, like most people are not going to purchase that first time around. And if you just stop there, then you're basically wasting money, right? And everyone knows that. Everyone, either you're already running retargeting ads, or you kind of know you should, but you just not sure how, or like there's something blocking you, right? For me personally, I actually was running retargeting ads for quite a while already. And I had some retargeting ads and like they were doing okay. And I thought, you know, it's fine like that, right? Until a while back, I actually started tweaking and diving deep into like what are the best retargeting ads? Like, how do I get this to convert? And how do I do it in a way that we can use it for our clients in different markets and different industries? And we realized there's like a set of like 10, 12 retargeting, I call them swipes, or like templates that every single time they just converted are better than what we had before. So I started sharing that with some of our clients, like, hey, they were using our software and they were trying to improve their retargeting. Like, hey, try like run these ads. And like, then we saw the results they got from it, right? And that's when I realized, like, hold on, like, this is not just something that I should share with some people here and there, but like this should be out to the open. So that's what I'm putting inside the retargeting machine. It's essentially like the closest thing possible to done for your retargeting campaign. Like it will have fill in the blank templates that you can run, you can test out, plus a bunch of training, like not like the theoretical hours and hours and hours, like boring stuff, but like very practical, tactical, like this is what you need to do this, do this, do this. So basically, everything you need to know, but not more. So retargeting without the overwhelming confusion to create super profitable retargeting campaigns on Facebook. And that's what we call the retargeting machine, which we're launching, depending on when you're listening to this, actually, but as we're recording, late this week. And we're actually doing a special offer for the first few days. So like, because it's going to be more expensive, but like first couple of days, we wanted to give everyone a chance to pick it up at a like below what we should be charging, to be honest. So yeah, for the first few days, it's at a massive discount.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I think I'm definitely going to plug into that because, and as I've said to many people on the podcast before, even if they are scared of Facebook ads and they don't want to run any ads because they're worried about, you know, we used to call it Google tax back in the day when people were running ads on Google and they just didn't quite get it, you know, and they were just spending money and they could have been so much better. And the same with Facebook. Facebook tax is basically people spending money on ads which they don't really know what they're doing. They just thought it was a thing to do and they get it up there. So sometimes I'll say to people, says, if you don't want to run ads at all, you still must have retargeting ads. whether it's your own product or if it's an affiliate product as well.
There's one exception.
Go.
There's one exception when you should not run retargeting ads. That is if you hate money. If you hate money, don't run a retargeting.
Oh man, that's a cliche. We're getting it right in there. If I had a sound effect, I could use that. That'd be awesome. But you are right. You are absolutely right. And that is the thing. And retargeting ads don't have to be expensive either. We're not talking about $50, $100, $3,000 a day here. We're talking about a small amount just to go get back traffic. Because what you said there about is when people have a sales page, even the best sales page still might struggle to get past 10 or 15% sales, right? Yeah. And that's a lot of people not buying in the first go.
Exactly.
So, you just got to think smartly about it.
Yeah, like the salespeople usually say, like, never take no as a no. It's like, it's more like a not yet, right? So it's like, for most of the people who are like inside your market, like it's not a no, it's a not yet. So make sure to stay in front of their, like basically on top of mind until they're ready.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's it. And retargeting ad doesn't have to be just something static and repeated over and over and over again. You can mix it up and change what people are going to see, because then it doesn't become blind to them when they've got this same ad running past them on Facebook. And it's crazy. Wilco's just gently nodding his head every so often. I'm guessing I'm hitting something close. I don't know.
Yeah, like definitely, like don't just run one ad, but run multiple ads. This is actually why we put a bunch of templates together, because it's not just about one, it's about the combination of things, right? For example, let's say someone goes to your website and you could just run a return, like what a lot of people do. They just keep hammering like, hey, buy this stuff. Like that doesn't work. But what if you go to a website and then maybe the next time you're on Facebook, you see a case study demonstrating how well it works. And then you see a testimonial of someone like who's talking about it and like, recommending it. And then you see like, hey, by the way, there's this deadline that's coming up. Like now is the last day to actually get access to it because the price is going up. You've already been seeing all these awesome results. Like, it's going to work. You believe it works because you've seen someone else using it and get results with it. And now you're forced to make a decision because the deadline is coming up. So what are you going to choose? Are you going to yes or no? Well, quite a few people are going to say yes, right? So get them over the finish line before the actual offer goes away, or the price goes up, or a bonus is taken away, or whatever your offer, however your offer changes.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. And I think people got to realize as well, especially if they're looking at this and thinking, oh man, I don't want to buy anything else, can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. But if they're running Facebook ads, even a retargeting ad at like $5 a day, right? That is still, gosh, my maths has left me now. What's that? $150 a month, right? Now,
it's not even about that. Like, what if I would ask you, like, what if you would spend $150 and someone would then wire $500 into your account every month? Like, because then all of a sudden it's like you're not spending $150, you're making $350. It's not about the spending, it's like an investment. Like, if you're running ads, cold ads on Facebook, yes, there's like a lot of trial and error. With retargeting ads, it's so much easier. So definitely go for like the $5 a day. Don't go crazy. Just see if it works for you. And once you like only the money that you make from your retargeting, then you can reinvest that into
yeah, totally. And I'm up for that 500 being wired into my account, by the way. That sounds awesome. Thank you. So everybody heard that then. Wilco's sending me $500. Brilliant. Right, fantastic. Good stuff, man. Listen, it's been awesome getting you on. I've been wanting to do one of these with you for a while now. I love your stuff. I always plug into your emails, your content, the videos, because you have so much passion about what you're doing, and I think that comes across brilliantly, man. I totally appreciate you coming on today. Wilco, thanks again. Everything's going to be in the show notes for those that are listening. Do not miss the show notes. Make sure you go and check this stuff out. It is super important and it's going to help at the end of the day. Wilco, thanks again, man.
Thanks you, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for having me.